Never believe that success is something that happens to you. What if I told you there's a single habit that can completely rewire your entire life in less than 24 hours? We've all been there, stuck in a cycle of frustration, watching others achieve their dreams while we remain trapped in the same old patterns. But what if the key to total transformation was something so simple you've probably overlooked it 1,000 times? The invisible barrier holding you back. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast canyon, your dreams on the other side. Between you and those dreams is an invisible barrier, a wall so transparent you can almost see through it, yet so strong it's held you captive your entire life. This barrier isn't made of concrete or steel. It's constructed from your own beliefs, fears, and limited perception. Most people move through life like ghosts, haunting the same corridors of mediocrity day after day. They wake up to the same alarm, drive the same route, perform the same tasks, and return to the same environment. It's a cycle so predictable that if you were to map out their life trajectory, you could practically draw it with a ruler, straight, flat, and devoid of any meaningful elevation. But here's a profound truth that will shake the foundation of everything you think you know. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the architect, the designer, the master creator of your own reality. Every single moment of your life is a result of the choices you've made, the thoughts you've entertained, and the actions you've taken or failed to take. Let's dive deep into this invisible barrier. Close your eyes for a moment and think about the last time you felt truly stuck. Maybe it was a career that felt like a dead-end street. Perhaps it was a relationship that drained your energy instead of lifting you up. Or maybe it was a personal growth journey that seemed to hit an insurmountable wall. What was really stopping you? Was it truly the external circumstances, the bad economy, the unsupportive family, the lack of opportunities? Or was it something far more insidious, something brewing inside your own mind? The barrier is constructed from a complex mixture of limiting beliefs, self-doubt, and fear. It's built brick by brick with every time you've told yourself, I can't, I'm not good enough, or that's just not possible for someone like me. These thoughts are not harmless. They are toxic waste dumps in the landscape of your potential. Consider the most successful people you admire. Do you think they were born with some magical immunity to doubt? No. The difference is they recognize this invisible barrier for what it truly is, an illusion created by their own mind. They understood that the only real limitation is the one you place on yourself. This barrier is adaptive. It changes shape to match your fears. When you dream of starting a business, it becomes financial uncertainty. When you want to improve your health, it transforms into time constraints and overwhelming complexity. When you seek personal growth, it manifests as imposter syndrome and fear of judgment. But here's the most empowering revelation. This barrier is not a wall. It's a transparent curtain. And all it takes is one decisive step, one moment of absolute commitment to push through it. The moment you recognize that the barrier exists only in your mind is the moment you begin to dismantle it. Your life is not happening to you. Your life is happening because of you. Every single circumstance, every challenge, every opportunity is a direct result of the energy you put out into the world. You are not a passive receiver. You are an active creator. The power of personal responsibility. Responsibility is not a burden. It is the most powerful weapon in your arsenal of personal transformation. Most people treat responsibility like a heavy chain, something that restricts and limits them. But in reality, it's the key that unlocks your true potential. When you take 100% responsibility for your life, you become absolutely unstoppable. This means no more excuses, no more blaming your parents for your childhood traumas, no more pointing fingers at your job for your financial struggles. No more complaining about the economy, your bad luck, or the unfairness of the world. Imagine waking up every single morning and making a radical declaration. Everything in my life is a direct result of my choices. Those words might sound terrifying. They might make your stomach churn with a mixture of fear and accountability. But here's the magical paradox. they are also incredibly liberating. When you accept total responsibility, you simultaneously accept total power. Think about that for a moment. If everything is your fault, then everything is also within your control to change. You're no longer a victim waiting for circumstances to align. You become the architect of your destiny. Let's break this down with a practical perspective. Every single decision you've ever made has led you to this exact moment. This doesn't mean life is always fair. It doesn't mean you can control every external factor. But you can always control your response. You can control your attitude. You can control your effort. You can control your commitment to growth. Most people live in a state of reactive existence. Something happens and they react. Their emotions are triggered and they respond based on past programming. But a person who takes 100% responsibility lives proactively. They create circumstances instead of waiting for them. Responsibility is not about perfection, it's about progression. It's about looking at every situation, even the most challenging ones, and asking, what can I learn from this? How can I grow? What is my role in this scenario? This mindset is transformative. It turns obstacles into opportunities. It transforms victims into victors. It shifts your entire energetic frequency from complaint to creation. The daily ritual of personal development. Imagine your life as a garden. Most people treat this garden like a neglected patch of land, overgrown with weeds of distraction, choked by the thorns of procrastination, devoid of any intentional cultivation. The daily ritual of personal development is your most powerful gardening tool. It's the precise instrument that transforms that wild, untamed landscape into a flourishing paradise of potential. Here's the habit that will fundamentally reshape your existence. 1 hour, every single day, dedicated entirely to yourself. Not to scrolling through endless social media feeds that drain your energy, not to mindless entertainment that numbs your brain, but to deliberate, focused, intentional self-improvement. Let's deconstruct what this truly means. This isn't about perfection, it's about commitment. It's about making a sacred promise to yourself that every single day you will invest in the most important asset you'll ever own, yourself. What does this investment look like? It's a buffet of personal growth. Reading books that challenge your thinking and expand your worldview. Listening to podcasts that inject new perspectives into your mind. Taking online courses that develop skills you've always dreamed about. Practicing a new ability that stretches your capabilities. Journaling to understand your inner landscape. Meditating to cultivate mental clarity. Exercising to strengthen your physical and mental resilience. The specific activity is almost irrelevant. What matters is the commitment to growth. Think of it like compound interest, but for your life. 1 hour might seem insignificant, a mere 60 minutes in a 24-hour day. But compound that over a year, and you're looking at 365 hours of pure, focused self-improvement. Do the math. That's equivalent to 9 full 40-hour work weeks dedicated entirely to becoming a better version of yourself. Most people spend more time choosing what to watch on Netflix than they do investing in their personal development. They'll binge watch entire seasons, scroll through social media for hours, but can't find 60 minutes to read a book, learn a skill, or understand themselves better. This is the silent tragedy of our generation. Imagine if you approach this hour like a professional, like an athlete training for the Olympics. Every single day, you're showing up. Every single day, you're putting in the work. No excuses, no negotiation, just pure, focused commitment. The myth of overnight success. Let's shatter a dangerous illusion that's been sold to you your entire life, the myth of overnight success. People love fairy tales. They love the narrative of the sudden breakthrough, the magical moment when everything changes instantaneously. But here's the brutal truth that nobody wants to tell you. Those overnight successes are usually decades in the making. Every single person you admire, every entrepreneur, athlete, artist, leader, has spent countless hours working when absolutely nobody was watching. They've trained in empty gyms. They've written in silent rooms. They've practiced their craft when the world was asleep. Consider professional athletes. They don't become champions by showing up on game day looking perfect. Champions are created in the unseen moments, the 4 a.m. training sessions, the extra repetitions when everyone else has gone home, the discipline to choose practice over pleasure, the commitment to improve by 1% every single day. This principle isn't limited to athletics. It applies to every single domain of human achievement. Musicians who seem to have sudden viral moments have typically been playing their instruments for thousands of hours. Entrepreneurs whose businesses appear to explode overnight have usually been grinding for years, facing rejection. Success is not an event, it's a process. It's the relentless accumulation of effort, knowledge, and resilience. It's showing up when it's inconvenient. It's pushing through when everything inside you wants to quit. It's maintaining hope and hunger even when results aren't immediately visible. Breaking the comfort zone trap. Your comfort zone is the most dangerous psychological territory in the world. It's not a safe haven, it's a graveyard where dreams come to die. Every time you choose comfort over growth, you're essentially telling the universe, I'm okay with mediocrity. I'm willing to settle. Breaking out of your comfort zone doesn't require heroic, terrifying leaps every single day. True transformation happens through small, consistent choices that gradually expand your boundaries. A 5-minute conversation that makes you slightly nervous. Reading a chapter of a book that challenges your existing beliefs. Trying a new skill for just 15 minutes. Each of these micro moments of discomfort is a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. The more you push against your perceived limitations, the more those limitations reveal themselves as nothing more than illusions created by your own mind. Comfort is the enemy of growth. When you're comfortable, you're not growing. When you're not growing, you're dying. Not physically, but spiritually, mentally, emotionally. Your potential is not determined by your talent. It's determined by your courage to step outside what feels safe and familiar. It's about being willing to look stupid, to fail, to be uncomfortable, to try and miss and try again. The world belongs to those who are willing to be uncomfortable, who understand that growth happens at the edge of your abilities, who see challenges not as obstacles, but as invitations to become something more. The compound effect of small wins. Imagine your life as a mathematical equation that nobody taught you how to solve. Most people believe transformation happens in massive earth-shattering moments. They wait for the perfect storm, the magical breakthrough, the sudden lightning bolt of inspiration, but true success is nothing like that. It's a quiet revolution, happening in microscopic increments that are almost invisible to the naked eye. Success is not a destination. It's not a trophy you suddenly receive. It's a daily practice, a relentless commitment to incremental improvement. Think about a snowball rolling down a mountain. When it first starts, it's tiny, almost insignificant, just a small handful of snow. But with each revolution, with each inch it travels, it picks up more snow. It gains momentum. It becomes larger, denser, more powerful. Your life works exactly the same way. Every single day, you're either adding a layer of snow to your potential or letting your snowball melt away. Those small actions, reading 10 pages of a book, practicing a skill for 15 minutes, making one healthy choice, they seem meaningless in the moment, but compound them over time and you become unstoppable. Let's break down the mathematics of personal transformation. One day of learning might feel like dropping a single grain of sand on a beach. Insignificant, forgettable, but 365 of those days, that's an entire landscape transformed. That's mountains moved. That's a completely new version of yourself emerging from the raw material of daily discipline. Most people underestimate the power of consistency. They want instant results. They want the six-pack without the daily workouts. They want the million-dollar business without the 1,000 small decisions. But nature doesn't work that way. Nature rewards patience. Nature rewards persistence. Think about a bamboo tree. For the first 5 years after planting, you see nothing, absolutely nothing. You water it, you nurture it, you might think nothing is happening, but underground an incredible root system is developing. And then suddenly in the 5th year, it shoots up 80 feet in 6 weeks. Was that sudden growth a miracle? No. It was the result of 5 years of invisible preparation. Your life is that bamboo tree. Every book you read, every skill you practice, every moment of self-reflection, they're not wasted. They're building your root system, your foundation, and when the moment of opportunity arrives, you'll be ready to shoot up 80 feet in 6 weeks. The compound effect is not just about addition, it's about multiplication, it's about exponential growth. 1% improvement every day doesn't just add up to 365% in a year, it compounds, it transforms. Small hinges swing big doors. Overcoming the biggest obstacle, yourself. Your biggest enemy doesn't wear a mask, it doesn't carry a weapon, it doesn't live outside of you. Your biggest enemy lives inside your own mind. It's that voice that whispers your deepest fears. You can't do this. It's too hard. You're not good enough. Who do you think you are? This voice is a professional liar. It's a master of deception. And the moment you recognize it as nothing more than a collection of learned fears and inherited limitations, you become absolutely unstoppable. Self-doubt is not a personality trait, it's a habit. And like any habit, it can be unlearned. Just like you learn to ride a bicycle, just like you learn to speak a language, you can learn to silence that destructive inner narrative. The human mind is the most powerful tool in the universe, but it's also the most dangerous weapon if left uncontrolled. Your thoughts are not facts, they are interpretations. Stories you've told yourself repeatedly until they feel like truth. Every single limitation you've ever experienced was first a thought. Every single breakthrough started as a possibility your mind was willing to entertain. You are not your thoughts. You are the consciousness observing those thoughts. Imagine your mind as a garden. Negative thoughts are weeds. Positive, empowering thoughts are beautiful flowers. Most people spend their entire lives letting those weeds grow wild, choking out any potential for beautiful growth. But you can become a master gardener. Replace I can't with how can I. Replace it's too hard with what's one small step I can take. These are not just motivational phrases, they are cognitive tools that rewire your brain's neural pathways. Every time you choose to challenge your self-doubt, you're building new mental muscles. Every time you take action despite fear, you're proving to yourself that you are stronger than your excuses. Your potential is not determined by your past, it's determined by your willingness to challenge the voice that says you can't. It's determined by your courage to stand up to your own limitations and say, not today, not anymore. Here's your blueprint, 1 hour every single day, dedicated to becoming a better version of yourself. Read, learn, practice, reflect, repeat. Don't overcomplicate this. Start small, start today. If you can't do an hour, do 30 minutes. If you can't do 30, do 15. The size doesn't matter, the commitment does. Life doesn't happen to you, it happens because of you. 1 hour a day. That's all it takes to rewrite your entire story.